let's get started with one of the tools that I think is super interesting and super exciting when you want to figure out in the very beginning what your business model is going to look like. So first of all, what's the business model? It's actually a way or a description of how you plan your business to create, deliver, and keep value. And in order to do that, there's a really nice model out there that I'm going to introduce to you. Okay, so this model is called the Business Model Canvas. And the Business Model Canvas consists of, a graphics. And in this graphics, you have a couple of boxes, something like this. And in the center of this box is your value proposition. They call value proposition your product. It's basically your product. So let's say you're in the business of making screws, and then you would list in this value proposition box here all the features of that screw and all the benefits that people would have from using your product. Okay, next thing you want to think about is, who do I develop this value proposition for? It's of course for the customers. But we don't stop there. We don't want to have a uniform thing of all customers. Usually there are customer segments. So you look at your customers and you try to find criteria for segmenting them, creating customer segments, right? So they're going to use your products differently, right? There's this guy who's going to use your product, your screw, differently than this lady here. And well, this guy here is probably going to use it in a very different fashion as well, right? So you want to map out your different customer segments. Okay. Next box is going to be your channel. And the channel is how you deliver your value proposition to those different customer segments. Okay. You can think of this as a truck, right? And this truck is going to take your value proposition and it's going to drive it over to your different customer segments. Okay, so think of the truck if you think about channels. Now, next thing is up here, your customer relationship. And customer relationship is important because you don't only want to sell one screw, right? You want to sell 1,000, 1,000,000 screws to those customers. So how are you going to keep them happy? How are you going to keep them informed? How are you going to tell them about all the new features and new screws that you're going to invent? Well, maybe you have a newsletter, maybe you have some customer relationship management system, whatever. You want to think about, how do you keep a good relationship with your customers? Okay, so this is the right side of the business model canvas, and it's outward directed, right? It's about your value proposition and then all the benefits for the customers and how you deliver it, how you keep them happy. So it's outward directed. And of course, what you don't want to forget in this whole thing here is how you make money, right? And the money thing is down here, and this is your revenue stream. So how are you gonna get money in? All right, very important. You want to think about, is this gonna be a subscription model, or is this gonna be just a one product that you're gonna sell? So very important to think about this aspect early on. Then the next part of the business model canvas is inward directed. It's the inside of your company. What do you need to keep it running? And here we have a box that's called a key activity and a key resource. So there's a key resource and a key activity, right? A key resource is, maybe if you're in the business of making screws, then it means you're gonna have a factory, right? You're gonna have machines that make these screws. That's a resource. And then there are key activities like new screw development or marketing or sales, and of course manufacturing. That's gonna be the activities that you have in your business. Quite straightforward. And then you have key partners. Maybe you can't do everything yourself. There are things in your business that you don't want to take on, that other people do much better than you do, and you're going to want to have them on as partners, right? So for example, logistics. You don't make the logistics for the screws. You're going to have a logistics company. All right. And then we're going to have the money side of everything here, of the internals. And well, when we talk here about the internals, then it's going to be cost. And it's going to be the cost structure. So you look at the resources, the machines you need to buy. You're going to look at the activities. What kind of people do I need to hire? And about your partnership. What do I need to invest in these partnerships? And then you get a cost structure. And you want to pin this down to some amount of money. Okay. So what you have now are 9 building blocks. Yeah? And these 9 building blocks describe your business. And it's important to condense it and keep it small and not go into too much detail on this, because you want to have one view, one glance at this picture, and you want to understand what the business is about. And if you keep it at that level, then you can create a lot of these different business model canvas for a lot of different ways or aspects of your business, and you can discuss them and iterate through them very quickly. Also, you want to use maybe sticky notes, right? So here are some sticky notes or post-it notes, and you can put these post-it notes on these different aspects of your canvas and then move them around or change them real easily without erasing the whole canvas. And we're going to look at an example later on. Also be graphic, right? If you want to say I'm now in the screw business or in the nail business, then just draw that thing instead of writing it out in a lot of detail, because then it's easier to understand. Well, one more thing. You don't really need to draw the business model canvas. There are already things available for you. There are downloads, PDFs, Creative Commons that you can use for the business model canvas. And it's much nicer graphics, and it makes a lot of fun working with those. Okay.